Per Platypus, welcome back. Welcome back.
It's
How are
good to
you?
be back. I'm doing, you know what? I'm doing really good. I'm excited for my new undercover waifu to come to the game.
Nice, nice. Yes, yes. So I take it you're gonna go hardcore into Queen.
I don't care about Queen at all. I think Queen's lame, but that new that new nuclear 4 star, I'm
Oh
will
yeah,
pull until I get her. She is the
Vino.
most hype unit I think to be released to date, and I know that sounds crazy, but I truly feel that way. I'm very excited for her.
Dude, I actually really like her because I when I did that little just this versus that the other day, when I was setting it up, I didn't even realize that I was going to be running Vino in both teams. But she's actually a lot of the times in my Violet team, not just like you only pull her for Queen. Like she goes into a lot
Mhm.
of different teams. So I'm super happy to get her back again. I've even prepped her cards already.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm like a everyone that watches me probably knows this, but I'm like a waifu hater just in general. Like, and I mean the hater in the sense where it's like it's not even necessarily logical. I'm just like, just look at it. It's always just hot girls. And so the fact that there's like a 75-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
borderline, I don't know what her personality is, but she's got a Karen haircut in the real world. I'm like, this is exactly what I want. I like wacky, weird, and unconventional characters. It's not
Yeah.
all just like attractive 18-year-old somehow still in high school students, It's
Mm-hmm.
like I'm like, yes, let's go. Adults.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm a big fan.
I'm happy to not have. But it's not that I dislike having like the younger kids or what I call them younger kids. They're like high schoolers. Some are in
They're
college
children.
now.
They're,
Yeah,
they're, they're children
it,
though. Yeah.
I like having adults. Like that's why I'm so excited if they ever bring Wolf or what is it, Zenkachi is his name or something from Strikers. Like I would love to get like him in the game at some point on some random collaboration one day. Like that would be fantastic if they did that.
So I'm hoping Persona 6 is in college, which is
Yes.
still it's one step in the direction I want it to go, which is full on 40-year-olds like going through life with like their real like dead end jobs
Yeah.
and it's like this real shit. But like college is at least not in high school anymore,
Yeah.
right? You could raise the stakes on how dark things are when all characters are globally the age of consent. So I think that college is like a really good direction
See,
for them to go.
see, I think they level it up from like Persona 6 on, and then by the time we get to Persona 10, it's Persona 10 Hospice.
Yeah, it literally it's not, and the protagonist is Vino, right?
Yeah.
She's just there, and it's gonna be everyone's gonna be 75-year-olds plus, and it just you're gonna go to the medical clinic and have to get Viagra to recover your SP and shit.
Could you
It's
imagine if they did that? I would be the first one to like pre-order it. I'd get whatever collector's edition that came with like adult Depends. Like that's the thing is they won't have masks. They'll have like different colored Depends, and that's what they rip off to release their Persona.
I mean, honestly, we're really getting into the Yakuza realm now. Like we already, I'm confident Ichigo will at some point have like a catheter attack, right? Like he's gonna like rip out an enemy's catheter and like smack him with it or something, right? Like
Give me the most absurd thing you possibly can. I'll take it. I'll take it.
I think Yakuza is more that route than Persona because they're already like in their 40s and they're gonna keep
Mm,
getting older, and I'm so excited. I
hell yeah,
love I love Yakuza.
definitely,
Anyway,
definitely.
yeah. Anyway, I've had a
Oh,
good week.
good, good. You know what? I had a good week, and I did a thing this week. So, and I know you know about it because we've talked about it, and you've you
Yep, yep, yep,
you
yep,
have
yep, yep.
seen it in the Discord a little bit with me. But as I do my dailies here, I'm gonna try to multitask. We'll see how well I can do this. But I kept hearing, and you have as well. Everybody has this discomfort, I'm going to call it, of not having the 110 banner and how it really screws over the player base and how much better it is or worse it is and feelings, feelings, feelings. And so, I have a math background and I'm like, I'm just going to do the actual math. Like I'm going to legit sit down for a couple hours, do the math, run some scenarios. And so, and I won't show this all on the podcast 'cause I think people get bored, but I literally wrote a Python script and then Code Noir. So big shout out to Code Noir, helped me test it. And we ran, I mean, I think he was running test scenarios of 15 million on his batches. And I was doing something like a couple million a batch because my computer couldn't handle heavier. But between the two of us, I don't think it's an overstatement to say we ran a few 100 million test cases total. And we tested everything between the 50/50 banner versus the 110 banner from A1 all the way to A6 with weapons, without weapons, your average gem cost, like the whole nine. And so we've got, we basically just ran a whole bunch of Monte Carlo simulations is what it's called. So we did all this to say, okay, well, what is the true math? And then even if we have the math, what is still practical? Because there's a difference between like, okay, if I pulled 50,000 times, this is what the best thing to do is. And like, hey, I probably will never actually pull 50,000 times, like unless this game is here when I'm like 95. And so do you want me to just go right into the result? Should I just say it?
We can. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I've had a little bit of a spoiler already, but just before we get into the nerd stuff, let me just say my vibe check for it is like I said it initially pretty timidly. Like when I was like, I don't know, because they're talking about the 110 banner. I'm like, I just don't know if I really like the 110 banner. I mean, it goes from a point 0.8 to like a 0.2 thing, and the 50-50 I think is a little exciting as well. So I think there were multiple reasons. I was vocally like, I don't want the 110 banner. People were crazy. They're like, what? What are you talking about? You're insane. One, there's a lot of misinfo. People don't think that it drops from 0.8 to 0.2 or they just don't know it does. So that's one thing. But I'll say vibe check. I'm a fan of the 50-50 baseline. And unless they change the way they do the 110 where the rate doesn't fall or something like that, But all right, give us the actual stuff.
Yep, and I'm going to give one caveat. I did not put soft pity rates in here because they don't kick into level 71 and they're not shared. So we don't actually know definitively what the soft pity rates are, but I think that everyone can probably testify to the fact that it's not high. They're not going from like 0.8% to like 32% or anything crazy like that. And any testing that I've seen on Discord would say it's like 0.001 increases and things like that. So there's that one little blip of math. Someone's going to argue it. But so here's what I've come up with. And again, thank you to Code Noir for helping me test all this. So if you look at the average, and again, this is millions upon millions of test cases, an A0 on a 110 banner would typically take you 98.8, so just call it 99 tickets. And on a 50-50, 89. So that's your average. So it's roughly 10 tickets for A0 that you would save on a 50-50 across the long haul. Okay, now you can have a bad banner. You can have, and someone's already typing in the comments right now that they went to, hard pity twice in a row. Like, it happens. Again, this is playing the long game. And as you go up in the A, so like let's say you want to go from A0 all the way to A6, like you're that person's like, I got an A6, I don't know, a catchy or something like that. You save more and more as you go up. And if you look at an A6, it's about, we'll call it 692 tickets on a 110 banner versus 622 tickets on the 50-50. So that's the first. I'm going to pause here. That's the first finding. And there's other findings, but that's the first finding. So how do you feel about that?
So it sounds like 50-50 is better for free to play, which I think is obvious. I shouldn't say obvious. To me, just having a higher percent rate. So this is including a specific character or just 5 stars in general?
No. So this is to get the featured character specifically.
The featured
I actually
character.
have results on if you just want how many 5 stars in general do you get. I actually know that number too.
Yeah, okay. So like putting that beside, which I think is the main advantage of a higher rate with 50-50, is more general characters. The fact that it's also better in the long haul for getting the featured character is pretty crazy. Not something I would have thought instinctually, but when I did like very rudimentary chat GPT math, and it came out to being almost equal, given the stuff that I did. So it doesn't shock me, but I do think it's important because someone's typing in the comments, and I don't want to ignore this. It's like the point of the 110 is not necessarily that it's better, is that it chops the legs off of the absolute worst possible RNG that any individual can get, which is valuable and that is important. But I do think it's important to keep in mind averages in general. The average player will be slightly hurt by going to the 110, while the absolute most unlucky players will see a benefit. But no, it's very unlikely any individual is going to be the unluckiest player for 2 straight years. But maybe there would be one account that is, and they like. So I'll say the more unlucky you are, which is subjective, I guess, is this sounds like it's even better. But sorry, you can go ahead.
No, and I was going to say it's so that was one of the points I wanted to bring up is, again, if you want to just play the math game and you're going to play this game for years, then always pulling the 50-50 will eventually be your better payout. But If you've got just enough to do 110 pulls, well, then pity rates be damned. Like, to your point, go to the one that you're guaranteeing yourself to get the character at that point. If it's like, hey, I can't save anymore, this banner's going to be gone in 2 days, and I want to get, I don't know, Cord or whoever it is that you love at that day, then yeah, go for the 110. Because if you miss the 110 and it's that part of the curve that does not favor you in the averages, then yeah, you would miss out. So I still think the 110 has a valuable place in the, I guess, pull world or in the paradigm, right? But it's definitely, I've not been able to run a scenario that makes the 110 better than the 50-50 when you're playing, the life cycle of the game. And the other thing that's interesting too that I found is if you look at the median. So the median is kind of like the midpoint of when you pull. If you look at it that way, at A0, it's actually 110 to get your featured character. So you are pretty much guaranteeing yourself that on average you will be going to the 110 more often than not, and then occasionally you get a couple lucky pulls for the 110 banner. And it's not until basically every fourth pull that you start dropping that rate down to where you're not going all the way to 110.
It's a 0.2% rate, right?
Yeah, it's super tiny. It's super tiny.
That's literally, I feel like people see 0.2% and they're thinking something like maybe that's 2% or something. Like they're doing some sort of mental, like moving the decimal around, but it's like, it's literally
so low.
It's 1/5 of 1%. It's like 1 in 500, right? Like to get it. So you're almost 1 in 500 with a 110 pity. You're basically guaranteed to go to that. Not literally, of course. There's never a guarantee, but like getting a 1 in 500 and 110 would be pretty impressive. So you are really only getting the featured units at that point. You're not getting, without an insane amount of luck, you're not getting that 1 in 500 otherwise.
Yeah. Now, the one place I'll say that the 110 actually, and this one surprised me because I thought the math would play out differently on this, but where in the long haul, again, you get benefit for pulling on the 110 is actually in total number of 5 stars, because at 165 pulls, you get to click on something and you get a random one from the standard banner, versus on the 50-50, when you lose your 50-50, you get a random one from the standard banner. But because the rates on the 50-50 are better, it actually plays out that again, to be mathy, the curve on the 110 is better for getting total number of 5 stars. And I think the community sentiment has always been like, oh, but when you lose your 50-50s, you're going to lose so many of them. But because of that higher rate, you just end up winning more 50-50s than you think you do. And again, this is just, it's math at this point. And you will pretty much continuously get to that 165 on your 110, because it's just it's a counter, right? So you're going to 165, you get it, starts at 0. 165, you get it, starts at 0. 50-50, it's actually just the inverse of the luck of hitting a feature, right?
Yeah. So I didn't even know that about the 110 banner. So every time you get to 165 polls, you're just and it's a counter that never resets. When you get to the 110, it doesn't reset it. So you just get to hit that button every 165 polls and get a random 5-star.
Yep.
Whereas in the 50-50, every time you get any 5-star, it resets the pity back to 0. And then, then it's the 50-50 rule.
Yep.
And so the 110 actually ends up being more total 5 stars overall.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. And it's not by like a significant amount. And I think that's the other piece I want to say about this too, is all of this to say none of the deltas are that significant that I almost want to say it doesn't matter. Like it's what are you comfortable with? Do you want to play the chance game? And I'll tell you, most of the creators I talk to and people that have played the game for a while actually prefer the 50-50, because they've kind of played it out long enough to say, oh, I actually win more of my 50-50 chances than I lose. Yes, you take the L every once in a while, but then it's like, okay, they take the L, then 30 tickets later, they got the character, not 160. And every one of us has definitely hit the hard pity. I've done it a couple times. But like, I think that the numbers are close enough that this shouldn't be a divisive argument. And I'm going to say something that some people are probably going to hate here. If they came out and decided the 110 was not for global, from a poll positioning standpoint, I wouldn't care at this point. Like, I think it'd be kind of bad from a PR marketing perspective. I think it would be like you're just shooting yourself in the foot, Sega. But from an actual, like, how does it affect my polling? I don't think it's that bad.
So they would both be in the game, or it would just be one or the other?
So
Hypothetically,
yeah,
with the way they do it.
so the way they do it is you get both. So it's you on
So
every
like
banner you can choose which way you go, the 50-50
I
or the 110.
I think you could make an argument, at least. I don't know if it's how true it is, but you can make an argument that having them both in the game is worse for the players overall, because there will be players who aren't thinking about it and they spend some currency on both these things and not don't understand that they're like, oh, they're not quite hitting pity there, they're not quite hitting pity there, and they're like being really inefficient.
Yeah.
Giving players the option, the ability to really mess up is there. But honestly, like this is going to be the most negative I'll be today, I promise. But it's like I hate the 110 fit in the other thing. It's like they're so smart. Like the math people behind Gacha games are so smart. They changed everything about it. They added this other pity timer. They added, they changed it from 80 to 110 with 100%. They lowered the rate. It's like every rule of the Gacha is completely different, and it maths out to be almost exactly the same and almost exactly situation. And the whole point they did this was like to make players happy, and it's just like hiding the ball. They're like, oh, you see it over here? Well, now you put it over here. It's a different ball.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, well, but it's like, I hate that it's like you could have, so many of these numbers could have been just a 0.3% rate, instead of a 0.2. It would have made it obviously better, like in some sort of long run. Like these little, they have every number perfectly tuned where it's actually pretty much no better at all. And that is so frustrating for me when introducing a new banner system that's like not even more generous,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's to your point. I didn't even think about this one, so I'm glad you brought it up. The people that maybe alternate between the banner types and don't realize what they're doing to themselves when that happens. I think it's almost like a PSA, and they won't show it in the game, like in a banner, be like, hey, don't do this kind of a thing. But the pities don't move between the two types of banner, so it's always like your 110 banner is its own living entity. And so if you get halfway to your 110, you're like, I'm done pulling on this banner. Okay, that will carry to the next 110 banner, whoever the next feature unit is. Same with the 50-50. We all know how the 50-50 works today. That doesn't change. But like that 165 counter, that only works on the 110. So if you pull 164 times on the 110 and then you switch to the 50-50, you never get that next tick. You never get that next pull to get your free 5-star unit. And I think there's going to be people that will unfortunately make the mistake of swapping between banners, like you said, and now they're missing on the 165, or they're not building pity on the other one, and now it's like, oh crap, I've kind of screwed myself on both sides of the fence.
Yeah, this might be something that doesn't happen to a lot of players. Like, I feel like a lot of Gacha players are slightly more educated now, but this is also a big enough of an IP where it is, people will be like, oh, I don't play Gacha. This is one of the only games I've actually played where people say they don't play Gacha, but they just like Persona, and they're waiting for Persona 6, so they felt like playing this. And so
absolutely.
I don't like the door being open for people to really screw themselves, especially when option A and option B are effectively, is like, no, this is an apple pie. This is, whatever. This is it's a different fruit pie. It's cherry pie. It's like, yeah, but it's both just a fruit pie. It's like they're basically the same thing, but it opens the door for people to screw themselves. So I don't really like that. I'm not, again, I'm kind of being nitpicky. Whatever they do, I'm not going to be like, oh, they add the 110, they don't add the 110. I don't really care that deeply either way. But I'm mostly getting in front of the fact if they don't add the 110, I don't actually think that's a negative thing for the game. Or not objectively a negative thing for the game, at least.
Yeah. No, and this whole gacha versus non-gacha, I'm actually surprised, I guess kind of like you are, or maybe you're not surprised, but a lot of people are like, oh, why are you dumbing it down like in your videos? We all play gachas, but you should see how many comments I have from people that are like, this is my first gacha, or maybe I dabbled in one years ago for like a month, and they came because of the IP. They came because of Persona, and they're like, thank you for breaking down the 53 bajillion different currencies and leveling systems and this and that and the other. And so I do think it's important that, even if the message seems rudimentary or basic to the gacha player who's got the decades of experience you and I have, that we still spell it out for people that have never touched this genre before. Because they're going to see the banners and be like, well, what do I do now? What do I click?
And that's only, people don't know what they know. Like they don't understand how much pre-knowledge they have installed in their brain from playing other gotchas
Mm-hmm.
and from playing this game for as long as they have. So things that are super obvious to daily players are not obvious at all to new players. Like just a quick example. I logged into Sword of Convallaria for his 1 year anniversary, and there was like 10 new currencies and 10 like new modes. I had no idea how any of like this one goes to what mode, this goes to that. Is this mode connected to that mode? How do I get to my rank 13 mats? Is this the light It's like I was genuinely confused for like 48 hours going through these things and having to look stuff up. And I played that game for 6 months nonstop and made 120 videos on it.
Yeah.
So there's no like you don't understand how easy it is to get into a complexity creep that causes even experienced players. So let alone if you're a new player, like you're not going to understand any of this inherently, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, and that's like the only reason I didn't really get into the Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lion, whatever it was called. I love Final Fantasy Tactics. Brave Exvius was fun. Is because the first time I installed it, I didn't catch it when it first came out. The first time I installed it, there was so many banners, so many systems, so many like things that had already happened, and I didn't want to learn another set of currencies. I didn't want to learn another banner pull strategy, and I was just like, you know what? I'll occasionally look at it on YouTube on someone else's channel and just see what cool units they launch, and I'll just never play the game. I'm out. But yeah, I mean, even for a veteran.
That's R&J's game, War of the Visions, right?
Yeah, yeah. Which they
Okay.
I guess they shut that down, which is
yeah, they did. At least the global version. I bet JP's still going. They usually keep JP's version alive forever.
Okay,
Same with Dragon Quest Tactics still going in JP, and that was a game that we played in global a lot. That was my first game that got me into gotchas.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna switch gears on you.
Okay, let's do it.
Did you see the gacha revenue post?
I have not
Okay.
looked at it because I was a little nervous because I'm like, all right, everyone's gonna shit on Persona. It's not in the top 10, and Uma Masame or whatever is up there, and they came out like on the same day. So I'm like, shit. All right.
Yeah.
So I didn't look beyond that.
Uma's number 5. So yeah, to put in perspective, that one got 34 mil. But
Damn.
And here, that's great, but I don't want people to hear that number and then think what I'm about to say is a bad thing. You know, let's put it in perspective.
Let me put it in perspective. I'll say anything above 2 million is good.
Okay. P5X combined 8.8 million for July.
Damn, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Number 22 is where it ranked. And let me see if I can find it because, my screen is not currently moving for the game, people, because I'm actually in the background looking at a couple things. So I'm trying to pull the real numbers here. But I want to say they've made 114 or 113 million to date on this game. Let me see. Oh, here it is. So Phantom X has generated nearly 1 billion yuan, which is 140 million USD for Perfect World.
Damn. Yeah,
so,
that's big. That's a lot of money.
I'm not worried about EOS.
No. There EOS is people just don't understand. I guess if you're saying EOS, it's because you're upset about something, and you and your other 50 people, 100 people you're all talking to are all upset, and these 100 people are all quitting. But like, it's a drop in the bucket, and I don't mean that your complaints are invalid. Like, they might be incredibly valid, but a lot of people will just continue to spend because they love Persona.
Yeah.
And that's just, I mean, I've spent money too. I mean, some of that money is mine for sure, but yeah, I would say anything above, like if you're staying above the 1 million, you're never going to EOS if you're making $1 million a month. Like they'll literally, as long as you're giving them, like War of the Visions, I think was down to like 30,000 or 40,000. That's why I started EOSing, right? So they're so far. I think we have minimum 2 years. I think 2 years is like, if we start making almost no money now, we still get 2 years because they already have most of the content done. So I think that this game is going to be like a, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 year thing.
Oh, easily.
At least.
Well, I mean, and it's Sega that's running it over here, and so they're not keen to cut their franchises. What is the other one? It's they have another gacha in this realm. It's DX something. The heck is it called?
Oh, they have the summon devil summoner.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That one's still going. Like that's what 5 years now or something in that rough neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I bring it up because I know people are like, hey, this is gonna die in a year or this is gonna die in a month, and I'm like, I honestly, and it's not copium. It's not me just wanting the game to live. Like I honestly don't see it going anywhere. And if it did, I would just find another game, play a different game. Like my life would go on. But I think this is going to be here for the long haul. And everything that I see just points to more and more investments being made into the game itself. Like if you look at the other servers and everything else. So the quality's been going up, the content's been going up. Like you don't do that to a game that you're about to EOS outside of just a unnatural, like, hey, we're pulling the plug on like a whole division of our company. Like, I mean, things can happen.
If they're smart, they're already gearing up for the Persona 6 announcement to onboard a lot of new people. Like, just when Persona 6 gets announced, you want a lot of people to join the game and not be 6 months behind or whatever it is, or years behind. So hopefully they're kind of rethinking the new player experience, because again, like, as long as Persona is popular, why would this game not be popular? I don't understand. There's a reason Persona is in every other gacha game that exists, is because it sells, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying this game is not going to be Honkai Star Rail, and to be honest, I don't know why it's not going to be Uma Musume or Love in Deep Space, or I don't know why it's never going to beat these games in terms of its popularity and its revenue. But even though it's not like that crazy level, it's just, this is going to be a solid game for a long time, and probably more fun than most of those games, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I fully agree with you on that one. And the only reason I can think it's not going to beat out some of the other ones is some of the other games I think get a little bit more, I don't know if fan service is the word I'll use today, on some of the waifus.
I'm frankly sure, but to me that feels, I mean, listen, maybe it really does work that well. I guess I can't say for sure, but like it just doesn't. I guess because I'm just I'm a notorious waifu hater. It just like it does. I'm like, no. There's something else going on here. That like I'm like, I know A plus B equals C, but I'm like, I don't see the B. It's just A equals C here. I don't understand it.
That's going to be your MC name, the notorious waifu hater.
Yeah, the notorious waifu hater. The ABC 1 2. I don't know.
NWH. I gotta be careful. I'm gonna throw the wrong acronyms out here today.
The NWH is actually really funny.
I think you're gonna have to make a video on that now. This is your next video. It's my assignment. So I've got one other topic because I think it'll be interesting because of how this times out, and we'll make this like a 5-minute speed round. And this is, I think, how we can close it. So we're recording this, everybody, on Saturday. The podcast goes up on Sunday. Between when we're recording now and when this will go live, we will have a live stream for 1.3. We have
12 hours.
Yeah, we have no idea what they'll say. I mean, they're obviously going to show content. Like, we know they're going to show the content for 1.3. That's the point of all these live streams. But the hot topic, of course, is, speed round 1. Do you think they're going to have anyone address general feedback like they did on the last podcast or on the last live stream?
Buzzing in. No.
Okay.
That's it. That's speed round. I don't think they're going to touch it.
Okay.
I think they're going to not even mess with it.
Number 2, the big hot topic here. Do you think they'll use this as a platform to rescind the 6-month wait for Minami to go to standard banner?
No way. They made $8 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not touching it. It's obviously working. We can not like it, but they're making money.
All right, and then the final one, number 3. Do you think they'll give us another batch of stream rewards like they did last time, where we get the 10 tickets and 10 millicoins?
I'm going to say no, because that would require them to address it in the first place. I think they're just going to... This is going to be a big ad, basically, for how to spend more money in the game.
Yep. Okay, so my answers are perfectly aligned with yours. There's a couple of videos out there. I haven't actually watched them, but I see them pop up on the feed or whatever, where people like, why Sega will revert and give Minami with 1.3, or why they'll give her out to everybody, and all these really weird things. I'm not sure if people are being clickbaity, probably, honestly, but I don't see them reversing that decision in this live stream. If they are going to do it, I think your best case scenario is the next live stream. Best case scenario, where they say, hey, instead of 6 months, we heard you, we'll do 3 months or 2 months. They'll do something if they do anything, but I don't think they'll do it now. And I'm still hopeful that they will cut back the 6-month time limit thing, or say, you know what, we'll just do it for Minami and we won't do it for Phoebe and, Cherish and everybody else. But they seemed pretty set on it in the last one. And I don't think they're going to come out 2 weeks later, not even 2 weeks later, and say, you know what, we heard your feedback. She's going to standard banner in, what would that be, 18 hours later?
Yeah, I would love if for them to do everything that everyone wants them to do. I don't think it's possible for them to, by them, I don't even know who I'm talking
Hmm.
to, but whoever's in charge of something, I don't think they're possible. They could give themselves that big of a W. I think they're allergic to it.
Yeah.
I don't think they want positive press. I think like everything they've said and done besides the 10 and 10 of like the tickets has
Hmm.
been like mostly negative comparatively to the CN version. And it's like, I don't really, I care, but like, I don't care that much because it doesn't really affect the whale players um, to a huge degree. But yeah, to me, it feels like they're allergic to giving themselves like really good news.
Yeah.
They're like, hey guys, we came out and we have 100. Like, even when they did something good, it's like, we heard you, we listened 10 and 10. Also, because we care about you so deeply, we're going to make you spend more money to get these 5-star characters with the FOMO. And have to wait 6 months. I'm
Yeah.
like, even when they're trying to win, they're losing. They're
And,
shooting themselves in the
and
foot.
hopefully you're watching this live stream because in 12 hours the character goes away. Like
Yeah.
they didn't even extend her the extra 2 weeks, which would have been like, at least that would have seemed more on brand for like the way the banners are run. But no, I think it's going to be fun because I'm not going to get up at 4 a.m. and watch this. I'm going to, wake up when I wake up, watch it. There'll probably be 15 other, content creators who've already gotten their videos out before I even see the thing. But I honestly am anticipating getting up, seeing them talk about the new characters, see them talk about the new events, see them talk about, this, that, and the other, just the content itself that comes with the patch, and then saying thank you, see you later. Like I'm not expecting anything else. And they might be like, oh, here's the stream reward gems, which they already said they're going to do every single stream, which is the 600 gems, which comes with 300 from the stream, 300 for maintenance. I think that's just going to be like the, hey, we do this
If
anyways. And I think that's
if
it.
they're going to address it, this is I think verbatim, basically, this is exactly what will happen. If they're going to address the mini stuff, is like we have heard feedback regarding the regarding the dislike of the 6 month wait. We will have more news to share on the 2.0 live stream. Like
Yeah.
that's it. They're just going to kick the can down the road. A little bit. Like if
Yeah.
they're going to address it, they're not going to address it 10 days after they do it. They'll do it for like Palace 2 when they're expecting a large amount of players to really be in the game and being active. So I don't even think 1.4 they'll hear anything.
Yeah,
So
no, I'm not expecting anything. So yeah, so now it'll be interesting because we've said it, we've put it on record, but the record will come out after the live stream or whatever you want to
Yep.
call it, and then we might have to revert back and be like, hey, we thought this, but we're totally wrong, and the overlords are generous and gracious, and they gave us 1,000 things that we asked for, but
we'll do
I'm
a
not holding my
voice over
breath.
this. We'll just have the recording and we'll just say new things.
Yeah.
I think they'll address Minami entirely and give us all 50 polls and a free copy of her.
Yeah. Oh,
After
somebody
we know.
somebody was saying that like they think they're going to give a free copy. I'm like, they're not giving a free copy of a character. Like get
know what I think
whatever
would be-
copium that is, get that out of here.
The best copium, which I think would make sense, is you give everyone a cognite of her. That way, people that don't have her still don't have her. But if they ever pull a copy, they have a free dupe on her. And then all the people that wanted to get the copy. That's like a middle ground that I think would be reasonable.
Yeah.
But I do not think they will do that.
They
But the
won't do it.
cognite,
But it
at
would be
least that you don't
interesting.
get a copy of the character. You know.
Yeah. True. Awesome. Well, hey, I think that's it for today's show. We've passed that 30-minute mark. I'm trying to keep us from hitting the 45 minutes to an hour like we keep doing. So
Right. I'll do a 2-hour podcast. I don't care. But I
if
understand.
people want it, if people want it.
The viewers are what matter. We're not just here to hang out. We're here to hang out and entertain. You know.
There we go. Awesome. Well, you know what? It's been over a month. This is episode 5, I think. So we've been doing this for over a month now, which just blew my mind when I was thinking about it earlier today. So we'll keep them going as long as you guys keep on watching them. But until our next podcast, please take care of yourselves. Platt?
Peace out, friends. We'll see you on the next one.
All right. Take care.